So Jinx is close to death and she's just been shot filled with shimmer. And what happens when we're oxygen deprived? 15 to 20% of our blood capacity goes to our brain, and it's just there to keep it functioning.
I'm so sorry, Powder.
As it becomes oxygen deprived, our brain starts to fire, and it fires all of the different centers.
Your sister is Jinx. No!
Some people can see things and feel things, and so for Jinx, she's replaying all of her traumas and fears.
I understand this must be painful.
And one of these lasting memories, the sign of how much Vi really means to her, is that's who she sees.
You know, Powder, you're stronger than you think.
And the thing that she holds on to is that she's stronger than she thinks, which is something that she's always feared and always felt, that maybe she's more of a jinx than a benefit. Then she goes through that fear, her fear of being betrayed, as Vi holds out the gun to her, and then she hears Caitlyn's voice saying that your sister is actually Jinx, that perhaps Vi isn't happy with who she's become. And I think that that's a very common fear for all of us, is that when we meet someone and we haven't seen them in a while, we worry, am I a disappointment to them? Are they going to be happy with who I've become? Especially if we've changed a lot, because change is hard for people. We become adapted, we become habituated, and that's our comfort level. Especially for Vi, she doesn't even call her Jinx, she still calls her Powder. And that symbolism of Vi killing Powder, and then you see Caitlyn holding Vi's bunny. That symbol of Vi is in Caitlyn's arms, and that shows how strongly she fears being replaced by Caitlyn.
I understand this must be painful. I'm afraid it will only get worse.
When Caitlyn's talking about this is going to be painful, she's holding the needle, which may make some people think that this is about physical pain, but it's not. The pain that Jinx feels is the emotional pain of being abandoned, and in this case, completely replaced, rejected, not accepted, and to have to watch Vi with someone else she loves more than her. And for Jinx, that emblem of betrayal is really encapsulated with Caitlyn. Now, this often happens. We are angry at someone, a loved one, but we blame their partner. Why? It is so much easier to feel that this person has changed them, pulled them over, seduced them, brought them to the dark side, instead of us thinking that it was the person that we loved that did it. So often we will project our anger not towards the person that's actually hurting us, but to someone else that's close to them. They're the reason for it. And that allows us to still love the person that we don't want to lose or that we're upset with. And I think that that happens a lot in families, especially when new people come in, because whenever there's someone new that comes in, it changes the dynamic. There's a new cog in place, and that brings out our feelings of fear. And if anything else changes, well, we blame the last cog that was added to the system. She has physical pain. This is a very painful experience for her also. We already know for Jinx, the main thing that hurts her is the emotional. I think that for a lot of people, we would rather take physical pain than emotional pain. It's just so much more painful because it plays upon our innate feelings of our ego strength. Are we good enough? We have this need to be accepted by others, and it's so deep. And when you love someone, it makes it really hard because we fear then being rejected by those that we love, especially for Jinx, who does not find it easy to be vulnerable with people, yet she's still able to with Vi. And I think it's always that really cool effect of when you see the mirror starts to smoke up and then you suddenly see an image that you couldn't see before. I think that it's really symbolic that it's the little tiny monkey toy, the monkey that she brought to be able to defend Vander and Vi and all of her other family members. That is one of the first inceptions of what created Jinx in the first place. And then you see that flash of a pinky purple eye. Calls back to that time where we first see Powder in Silco's arms. I think that this really helps us understand, why does she kidnap Caitlin? Jinx wants to get rid of the person that's coming in between her and Vi, because in her eyes, without Caitlin, everything would be okay. And Caitlin is that risk that she could lose Vi again. Remember, she is just recently under a massive amount of shimmer, a ton of it, which also changes you. When Singe says to Silco,
"Are you prepared to lose her?"
he didn't just mean, are you prepared to have her die? He's saying, are you prepared to have her become someone different?
And what do I lose but problems? Is there anything so undoing as a daughter?
What Silco's really saying is undoing, not in a bad way, that it's undone. All of the things that matter to him have changed because he cares about her more than he cares about the cause that he's worked his entire lifetime for. And he's telling this to Vander because he's the only other person that would understand. One is Vander was also a father to Powder. Vander's words to Silco is that he himself has a change of heart. He's the only other person that would really understand what Silco is going through because he loves her. And often when we overhear parts of a conversation and we don't understand the full context, we interpret it through our fears. And one is, this is a huge fear for Jinx. Two, she's just gone through a massively traumatic experience and she has all of this shimmer flowing through her. And because of that, she's misinterpreting what's happening. And when information is nebulous, what we do is we fill in the blanks, but we do it from a state of wanting to protect ourselves because it's so devastating to be able to be hurt. So we go to the worst case scenarios, and often that makes us assume the worst and often assume it wrong. You see in Jinx's eyes that anger, and then the last emotion is that pain, that hurt. Oh my goodness. She's just been betrayed in her mind by Vi, and she had this fight with Echo. She's lost everyone, and now she's also lost Silco. Everything that Jinx has been doing has been to prove to everyone, and really it's to herself, that she's not a Jinx, that she can do it right, that she can make people proud.
Really thought I buried this place. I should have known better. Nothing ever stays dead.
What I believe that she's saying is that all of her fears, all that negative self-talk, she's tried to bury it. She's tried to move away from her past, but it keeps on coming back to haunt her. And so she brings everyone back to the inception of where she started, where Powder became Jinx, that transition between this location to the next one.
Wanna know a secret? Silco thinks he made Jinx. Be what they fear, Jinx. But he didn't make Jinx.
And you hear the bitterness in her voice. This is another person that's betrayed her, and she's angry at him because she trusted him and he crushed her. She believes that he would trade her in.
You did.
I never meant to leave you.
You never left. I always heard you. Your voice pushing me, picking me up. You're the reason I'm still alive.
Even though she hurt her and created Jinx, this fracture, this change in who she was as a person, Vi is also that positive voice when she was dying and had to go back from the darkness.
You know, Powder, you're stronger than you think.
It was Vi's words that she heard. Even though she's upset at her sister and she's not sure if she can trust her because she left her before, she still loves her and she wants to be able to trust her still. And that's why, out of everyone at the table, it's Vi who isn't gagged, because she wants to hear what she has to say.
Are we still sisters?
Nothing is ever going to change that.
That's what happened when she had these near-death visions, when her cortex was firing. Are we sisters, or are you going to get rid of me? Am I still okay for you? Vi's answer is really beautiful, that nothing's ever going to change that. I wish she said more like, I'm here for you. You don't have to worry. I'm never going to leave you.
I always knew you'd come back.
What's going on?
And I believe that Jinx did believe that she would come back. Where that beautiful scene where she lights that flare, she's held on to it for all this time, and she stood there so stoically yet in pain, hoping for her sister to return to her. But in order to hold on to that, especially for Jinx, that shows so much trust that she still has after all of those years in Vi. That's like the coolest scene, like that she like flicks the lighter and lights everything up, and then we get to see this really creepy tea party table. I really love it. Again, not psychological, but it was really cool.
He took everything from us. Right here, he stabbed Vander in the back, just like he planned to with me. All the time saying you abandoned me when he knew the truth. Liar.
Because she overheard those words that Silco said. Now she doesn't believe him. She's gonna make him pay the price for it. And she wants Vi in her side. This is her offering to Vi to get her back. She set this up, which is kind of scary for Vi. She has the Claggor doll, she has the Milo doll, and she has the symbol of her love, the little tiny bunny sitting at the table. And yes, of course, Vander's pipe and his metal gauntlet gloves.
I paid your girlfriend a visit this morning.
What did you do?
I'm not that crazy.
I did worry also that Jinx had Caitlyn's head on this platter because she was so angry and upset about it. And she set this entire scene up to increase the anxiety and stress level of everyone that was at the table. Jinx is still upset at Vi. That's why she plays with her. That's why she sets this up so that Vi will think that it's Caitlyn's head in this platter. She wants her to feel uneasy. She wants her to know, don't cross me. She's so worried that if she doesn't, Vi may not choose her. And so she'll take it, if not by will, she'll take it by threat. We have to mention that she's really clouded from the effect of the shimmer on her. It's played upon her worst paranoias. It's played upon all of her delusions and fears. And because of that, it's made her much less stable. A lot of different drugs do cloud our mind. They can numb certain parts of them. They can make us skittish, paranoid with intrusive thoughts, cause us to have auditory hallucinations or visual ones. It can make us into a more agitated or aggressive person. Even regular things such as chocolate and coffee and sugar does have psychological and physical and emotional changes and effects on us. I think that we need to be really cognizant of how do these things affect you.
Where should I sit? That's your choice, really. Make her go away. You can have powder back.
She offers Vi this choice of who do you want me to be? I'll be whoever you make me. It's an unfair question because Jinx can't go back to being powder even if she wanted to. She's changed and become someone new. Now, she could evolve and change into something else with time and work, but that's a lot of effort. Our brains are kind of hard set. They want to stay wherever we happen to be, even if it's a place that we don't want to be. That makes us feel comfortable. She's offering this because she doesn't care. She just wants Vi back, and it doesn't matter the price. It's a little bit of a test. Does Vi actually accept her for who she is now? Because again, she keeps on still calling her powder, but powder's gone.
I can't.
Ultimatum that no one would be able to choose. She's testing how much do you really love me? Pick between us. It's common with people with an insecure attachment or fear of being abandoned because it's just, you're so worried that you constantly need that affirmation. And the affirmation works for a period of time, a little bit of time that you feel comfortable and safe. But then it becomes ephemeral. It disappears on you and you have to have another proof so that you can feel stable. It doesn't actually work. It's like trying to fill water into a cup with a big hole in it. It goes away and you need the new test to be able to prove it. Instead, what we would want to do is we would want to practice being safely attached, and we actually do it not to other people around us, but you practice being attached and comfortable with yourself. And then you have that secure attachment with you. you're not alone because you have yourself. And I know it sounds really, really therapy-ish. You have you, you're not alone. And then everyone else is extra and you can enjoy them. But it's not like a tree that if it's gone, you'll collapse.
Powder, listen, we'll leave and never come back.
Where would we go?
That's what she wants. She wants Vi, and she not just wants her, she wants her all to herself. Because she's been so hurt, so traumatized, because so many people she's lost, she's holding on to her in such a tight way that she doesn't even want the risk of anyone else around because they also are a threat to maybe take Vi away in time. Inside of Jinx, I don't think that she really understands how important she is, how wonderful she really is. She's constantly trying to prove to others that she's good enough, but in the end, what she really needs to do is know inside of herself that she's good enough, just as she is.
No, she's not saying that.
It's true.
Vi's only saying this because of duress and her negative self-talk. You can hear that her voice inside of her head is saying she's just lying. Vi is offering probably more than she's able to actually give. So that fear plays up. And that's what often happens when we're doing something that we're worried or we're scared about, is that we end up with all of these negative voices that puts doubt into us.
You'll be with her a day before she realizes you aren't that girl anymore and turns her back on you.
And those are her fears, that Vi might leave her again. You can see the pain in her eyes as she's pondering, what should she believe? These are her two most important people in her life right now, and they're pretty much pitted one against the other, but both of them really love her.
You aren't lying. Not again.
I'm not lying.
Shut up! We're talking!
She gets rid of the negative voice. She shoots Milo when Milo laughs and mocks that Vi's telling the truth. She wants to believe her.
The Topsiders offered me everything. They can all burn. You're my daughter. I'll never forsake you.
The words that Jinx has always wanted to hear. Even if given everything that I've ever wanted, he'll still choose her. You can feel that healing, that pain dissolve. I really wonder if what didn't unfold, we had some moments, what would have happened between everyone, because you can definitely tell that she believes him, and I believe him. He was really authentic and genuine in what he felt. He loves her more than his cause. And I think that that's one of the beautiful things about Arcane, is that it's over and over again that people choose the people that they love over all of their different beliefs and wants. And you see how Jinx listens to her sister? She really does care about what Vi thinks about her and doesn't want to hurt her. And because of that, chooses not to kill Caitlyn now twice, even though she could. In Jinx's mind, it's Caitlyn that's between her and Vi. But she can't do it. She can't kill Caitlyn. She knows then that she would lose Vi also in the process. And I think that we have to really appreciate how brilliant of a tactician Jinx is. That little tiny hands up and don't worry, I'm no threat. She wants Caitlyn to underestimate her. Jinx is battle hardened. She knows how to fight. This is an area that she is confident in, and so is able to take on Caitlyn even though Caitlyn has a weapon and she's chosen to put her weapon down. She can tell that Caitlyn is not as battle hardened as she is. And Caitlyn is really good with a gun, but there's a big difference in shooting in a range when you're not under stress versus shooting in an actual battle. That increases your levels of adrenaline. And when you have mastered a skill, when you have an adrenaline rush, you're actually going to be better. You have all this muscle memory, so you don't need to think. Versus if this is a new situation, that's stress, you still have to think about it because you're still an amateur, a beginner at a skill. And so because of that, it takes a lot of cognitive load. Then that adrenaline overloads the system and it knocks out your working memory. So the area that makes you have to think, by the time that she's thought, she's moved towards me, it's too late. Jinx is already on her. And so adrenaline acts really different between people that have mastered a skill and people that are just new at it, making the master faster, better, more sure, and more accurate because they don't need to think they've mastered it. It's all muscle memory, neurons that fire together, wire together. She can do it without thought.
You see, now finish it.
Damn it, Powder! Wake up!
When you go into fight or flight, you end up with this rush of adrenaline. So now we have Jinx, who already has all of this overload of shimmer inside of her. You can see how pink and purple her eyes are. Then we add all of this adrenaline, epinephrine, into her system. It's overloaded it. You can tell when someone's in an anxiety response, a fight or flight response, because the whites of their eyes, nothing's going in. They've kind of zoned out. And both Silco and Vi can recognize that she's not there really. And they're both worried.
Picture Milo! Clagger! Stop, Vander!
Don't listen to her!
Yes!
And in this scene, Vi's trying to wake her up by telling her things and people that she's loved. She doesn't know that for Jinx, these are the demons that haunt her. These are the people that she's killed, that because of her are no longer with her. So these are traumatic experiences. And for her, Milo especially is a negative voice. He's the one that's always bringing her down and saying that she's not good enough and things are going to end poorly because of her. And so unfortunately, Vi trying to bring her back is actually pushing her further away. And it reminds me of that time that Vi was talking about the larger and larger monsters that would fight each other until until Powder felt like she couldn't handle it anymore.
Stop, Vander! Please!
She's traumatizing her. She's asking Vi to stop. But for Vi, she doesn't understand that she's asking her to stop because she's becoming more and more overloaded. She's going into a full-blown panic. And Silco, I think, can tell exactly that this isn't going to work. One is he doesn't want to lose her, but I also do believe, you guys were right, that he is worried about the psychological damage that Vi may be unwittingly giving to her. It really does show how much Silco trusts and loves Jinx because he could have gotten out of his ties at any point in time. Him seeing his daughter in pain is what gave him that adrenaline reaction to be able to grab the gun and to try to get rid of the person that's hurting Jinx, which is Vi. You see her curled up, trying to hide her head, trying to stop the pain, the sound, the voices that are coming in and tormenting her and traumatizing her as they're just eating at her. And I think that a lot of times when we're feeling really hurt or we're going through a traumatic flashback, that's what we feel. We go back to being that child that's helpless and all alone. And it's a really painful, difficult space to be in. Silco goes to shoot at Vi. She also goes to protect her. She is going to stop this. And she's on autopilot. So as she did before with the battle on the boat with Echo and Savika being tied up, where she just wildly shoots all the way around. I don't even think that she was aiming just for Silco. It seems like she just did a full 360 of bullets and she just wanted the pain to stop. And lots of times when we're in that painful situation and we're just hurting, we lash out and we kind of just will do anything so that it ends because it causes us so much distress. We're not thinking. And then we have this shimmer that makes her already feeling more paranoid. She definitely still has a preference of Vi over Silco, even though I think that he did his best to be able to show her love and care. Vi is still that main attachment for Jinx, and that's shown by her holding out the flare, going to find her, and also during her flashbacks, it's Vi who is the painful person that she didn't want to lose.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I never would have given you to them. Don't cry. You're perfect.
For Jinx, again, she's done something when she was really just trying to protect and in pain and didn't mean to, that's caused the death of another one of her father figures. And that pain and hardship, that feeling that no matter what she does, the worst case is going to happen. It's just so painful because here she is with both people that she loves telling her that they love her too. And it just ends so poorly for her because of all of her childhood fears. This is now that fulfilling of a prophecy. This proves to her that, you know what, this is her lot. Silco right away, he didn't care. He just wanted to let her know that you're perfect, that you're okay, and for her not to cry. And I think that that's just so beautiful that in his last moments, that's what he thought about. He thought about making sure that she was going to be okay, and he didn't want her to carry the guilt of this act.
Powder? We'll be okay.
And you hear her doing her breathing as her breathing starts to slow down in the realization of what's happened, but also of who that makes her. How does she now identify with who she is as a person? And I think that sometimes when we do actions, we think that our actions now make us who we are. And she's chosen that who she is Jinx, that she is beyond redemption, just like everyone has said, Echo and Caitlin.
I thought maybe you could love me like you used to, even though I'm different.
And then that's pain again of her want to be able to be accepted fully as who she is now. And now she believes because of these acts that her sister wouldn't be able to love her anymore. Not the way that she used to love her, because she feels like she's a bad seed.
But you changed too. Here's to the new us.
I am the monster you created.
Now she's chosen her side. It's going to be her versus Vi instead of with her. I believe that she's decided that she's beyond redemption, that she's just going to go it alone. And she's going to complete the mission that she started in Silco's honor. She's going to just scorch everything.
Left these pieces.
We will show them all.
And I think that it's really symbolic that this is the weapon that she made for Silco, and it's in the shape of those fish that Silco loved so much, that she's going to make everyone pay because he can't. And if you like this video, make sure to check out the whole series, ad-free, sponsor-free, on Nebula, including my first exclusive special on the animation of Arcane and why this unique style creates such an intense emotional connection. I also have a bunch of other specials to come, available only on Nebula, where I have the luxury of making videos and I don't have to really optimize for YouTube, and I can make the ones that I really want to. All of these will be ad-free, sponsor-free on Nebula, and bundled in for free when you sign up with today's sponsor, CuriosityStream, at curiositystream.com/Georgia Dow, or click on the link below. And right now, because you're watching this video, you can get CuriosityStream for 26% off. That's less than $15 a year. A year! That's less than buying one pizza, and you get it for the whole year, and that includes thousands of amazing documentaries, like the one that I'm going to be watching next, Curious Minds, The Science of Sleep. That explains, what does our brain really do when we sleep? What's the function of sleep? And experts are going to tell us about what happens when we rest and dream. This is also the best way to support educational creators directly, and the best deal in streaming today for 26% off CuriosityStream, less than $15 a year, and you get Nebula bundled in for free. Just click the button on the screen below or head on over to curiositystream.com/Georgia Dow. So that is it. We've done it. Jinx Act 3. Did I miss some of your favorite scenes? And let me know, do you have a different interpretation of why she decided to just scorch everything and get rid of all of the council members? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know, what do you want to see for the next video? If you liked this one though, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.